Honorable Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his entire household, his companions, and all those that are struggling until the day of resurrection. I bear witness that there is no worthy of worship except Allah. He alone, He has no partner, and I bear witness that indeed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and as well His messenger. Allah sent him to His creation with monotheism, and He commanded him to be conscious of Him. And regarding obeying the disbelievers, the hypocrites, and imitating them, Allah warned him against it. And again, He prevented him from that. The salutation of Allah should be upon His servant, and His messenger, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions, and all those that are striving, holding firm to his tradition until the day of resurrection. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the theme of today's khutbah is this: التحذير من الاحتفال برأس السنة الميلادية, warning against New Year celebration or New Year festival, and as well وأعياد الكفار, and the festivals of the non-Muslims. If I say that matter, celebration of festival, I mean congratulating them, facilitating or advocating that atrocity and so many, and it's part of the festival of the non-Muslims. Part of it, New Year is part of it. That is the celebration of the birth of Nabi Isa. Allah said that He doesn't have a son, that belied the statement of Allah and attributes Nabi Isa, attribute Uzair being the son of Allah. One, that belied Allah regarding to this. In this, if your creator say that He doesn't have a son, and again someone now attribute or belie his statement, does that person deserve your love again? The answer is no. Second, again, part of the celebration is New Year. This New Year, that the 1st of January, these names of the month, from January to December, is not the name given, or it's not the name that Allah revealed the Quran with. Likewise, the Prophet also addressed us regarding to. Because Allah mentioned in the Quran in Surah At-Tawbah, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ إِثْنَا عَشَرَ شَهْرًا فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. The numbers of months that is recognized by Allah are 12 lunar months. And the Prophet address is the one who is sent to explain or to make things crystal clear to us. He now explained to us in the hadith of Abu Bakr that those months, 3 of them comes consecutively. Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Shahrullah al-Muharram. That those three came consecutively. Then Rajab of the people of Mudar, and these 4 are sacred months. The rest of them are also part of the lunar month. Rabi'ul Awwal, Jumada al-Awwal, down to Dhul Hijjah. These are the months of ours. Allah mentioned this, the Prophet explained this, they belied the Quran, belied the Hadith, and invented other months for us from January to December. This is belying the Quran, belying the statement of Allah, belying the Prophet that is sent to the Ummah, to the last Ummah of ours. Then, also, part of the festival is this, Good Friday. That is, Good Friday is another festival of them, celebrating the day Nabi Isa was crucified. Look at Allah says, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُ. Allah says Nabi Isa was not killed, he was not crucified, but they are celebrating the day he was crucified. They belied the Quran in this aspect. Then also they have mother Easter Monday. That is the day that Nabi Isa will be resurrected. This is also belying the Quran because there is no evidence regarding to that, even in their own book. Then Halloween day, Halloween, the day also is a day which they are also the day of supplicating the martyrs of them, those that were killed in the battlefield of the non-Muslims that were killed. That mother, they have to mother make a supplication for them as martyrs. There is no evidence regarding to that in their own book itself. All these ones are names. Ma anzalallahu biha min sultan. There is no evidence regarding to that. Then how you that are having that Allah choose the bounty of Islam and give you the Islam, how will you now love those enemies of Allah, celebrating with them that belie the Quran and the Prophet that was sent to each and everyone of the mother of the last of the nation of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They belied him. You now celebrating with them is like you are facilitating, advocating that immorality. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, is not something that we are supposed to celebrate. For that, be conscious of Allah with sincere consciousness. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed by his wisdom, by making people in two categories, believers and non-believers. He mentioned in the Quran that mother, huwa alladhi khalaqakum. He, Allah, is the one who created each and everyone living on the face of the earth. فَمِنْكُمْ كَافِرٌ. From amongst you, they are believers. They are disbelievers. From amongst you, they are disbelievers. وَمِنْكُمْ مُؤْمِنٌ. And from amongst you, they are believers. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. And Allah is watching you over your action. Allah is seeing each and everyone. The way Allah wants to see the world, that is how it is. Allah have already made it crystal clear that is how the world is going to be. They are going to be believers and they are going to be disbelievers. That is how Allah allowed it to happen, but it's not. He now gave human being choice for you to choose. This is guidance and this is misguidance. If you choose to be in the guided way, فَبِهَا وَنِعْمَةً. If you refuse to, you choose misguidance, then you will be there till you meet your Lord. Indeed, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah has legislated upon each and every believer, provided you have Iman in your heart, for you to reject, disown disbelievers, disown or rejecting their deen, because وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. You have to reject their deen. Also, you have to disown whatever they are worshipping. You must not advocate that. You must not worship with them. You must not participate in worshipping anything beside Allah. As Allah cited the example of Nabi Ibrahim and his people. If قَالُوا لِقَوْمِهِمْ, when they told their people that mother, إِنَّا بُرَآءُ مِنْكُمْ. Indeed, we've rejected you. We've disowned you. وَمِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. And we also rejected, disowned anything you are worshipping besides Allah. كَفَرْنَا بِكُمْ. We disbelieve you, we rejected you. وَبَدَى بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةُ وَالْبَغْضَاءُ. And there has appeared between us and you animosity and hatred. This animosity and hatred will continue forever حَتَّى تُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. Until you believe in Allah, He alone. This regarding to that. Secondly again, the Prophet ﷺ, when the people of Mecca invited him for a covenant or treaty, that he should come, they should have a kind of sitting, they should come to an understanding, to be on the same page regarding to them worshipping the Creator. The Prophet ﷺ should come and worship their idols for some days. They will worship the Ilah, the Allah of the Prophet ﷺ, that he said that is the one who created the heavens and the earth. They worship his own God too. Then immediately making their request, Allah sent, Allah revealed the surah completely, Surah Al-Kafirun, and titled the name of the surah as infidel, that is disbelievers. He now told the Prophet Qul, tell them that Ya ayyuhal kafirun, look into their eyes and tell them that, oh you disbelievers, La a'budu ma ta'budun, I will not make an attempt to worship what you are worshiping. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ, as you will not worship what I am worshiping, down to the last end of the surah, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Hold your religion, let myself hold mine. For that, let them hold their celebration. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, you also hold your own. It's not compulsory. You must not please somebody at the expense of disbelieving in, at the expense of displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because doing that can earn you the wrath of Allah. Because some of us, when we are living with the non-Muslims, we say, I'm just wishing them so that, that to just allow peace to reign in order for them not to harm me. Before you even mention that, Allah have mentioned that in the Quran. فَتَرَى الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ يَقُولُونَ نَخْشَى أَن تُصِيبَنَا دَائِرَةٌ. You see those that are having sickness in their hearts. Sickness of mother, hypocrisy. Sickness of disbelief. Mother, فَتَرَى الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ. The hastening regarding to their celebration. The hastening regarding to advocating their disbelief or atrocities with this kind of excuse. يقولون, they will mention that, mother, نخشى أن تصيبنا دائرة. We're just afraid of their misfortune. Allah says, فَعَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَأْتِيَ بِالْفَتْحِ. Allah will grant you victory if you are doing that because of, if that is your reason. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah have already mentioned that, and إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. When it comes to the matter, to religion, wallahi, there is nothing to compromise. Relating with them on a daily basis, Islam allows you to be kind to them, be honest with them, encourage them, bring out the image of Islam to them. Let them also see that image of Islam in you in order for them to accept Islam. When it comes to religion, no compromise. That's how Allah mentioned in the Quran. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we have to just please Allah. Don't utter a word that will lead to your destruction on the day of resurrection. Because that word that you are looking at it insignificant can serve as your way of destruction on the day of resurrection. إِنَّ الْعَبْدَ لَيَتَكَلَّمُ بِالْكَلِمَةِ مِنْ سَخَطِ اللَّهِ لَا يُلْقِي لَهَا بَالٍ. You see, a servant might mention a statement which he considers it insignificant, while it is significant in the sight of Allah, because وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. You might consider something insignificant, but it is significant in the sight of Allah. Considering that, doing that, فَيَهْوِي بِهَا فِي جَهَنَّمْ, it will lead him to destruction, for him being sink down to the hellfire. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, that is how it is. For that, Allah have distinguished the believers from disbelievers by sending them Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with some rulings and as well some slogans or signs of the deen. He bestows them with some methodology which is contrary to the methodology of the pre-Islamic era. That is the era of the people of the book, and also the pagan. And from the slogans of the deen, and as well some cultural festivals which Islam also revived it, because there are some festivals which Islam does not kick against it. Islam only revived it also for it to continue for the nations. And again, from those slogans of the deen, the science of the deen, and some culture that Islam revives, from them festival is part of it, that is feast or banquet. For that, Allah now set aside the two Eid for the believers, for the Muslims, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, and again some A'yad also, some of the Eid like Ayyam al-Tashriq, 11 days, 3 days after Big Salah, and again the day of Arafah, the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, the day that the people of the Mecca, the pilgrims, rode on the mountain of Arafah, and those that are not participating, the non-pilgrims fast during that day. That is on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. And Allah now bestows them, replace some of the Eid of the people of Jahiliyyah with the best Eid, which is the day, the Eid, all this Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, Ayyam al-Tashriq. Hadith is narrated by Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, when the Prophet ﷺ migrated from Mecca and arrived at Medina, he met the people of Medina having about two feasts, two festivals. The Prophet ﷺ now said that what these 2 days of festivals are for what? They now say that mother, كُنَّا نَلْعَبُ فِيهِمَا فِي الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ, we used to rejoice in those 2 days at the time of the pre-Islamic era. The Prophet ﷺ now said that indeed Allah have replaced you with 2 days better than these days. What are those things? Those that Allah replaced them? Yawmul Adha wa Yawmul Fitr. The day of Mother, the big Salah and the small Salah. Let me mention that. Let me just borrow that as a. Let me just use that as a borrowed language. And hadith, that is hadith reported by Abu Dawood and Ibn Taymiyyah authenticate the hadith. Hadith of Uqba ibn Amir also, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, the Prophet ﷺ said, Yawm Arafah, the day of Arafah and the day of Nahar. That is the 9th, the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul Hijjah is the day. Those are days of the festivals of the Muslims. If you initiate any day of festival to these days, you've initiated something or you fabricate something to Islam. And وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ, any innovation regarding to Islam, it is bid'ah. وَكُلُّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ, and that misguidance can lead someone to hellfire. For that is it. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, it does not befit any Muslim believer to celebrate New Year, because it is not our festival. Umar bin al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, he said that اجتنبوا أعداء الله في عيدهم, distance yourself from the festivals of the enemies of Allah. If you are celebrating with them, you are wishing them that if there is necessity for you to even respond to someone who wish you Happy New Year or Happy Easter Monday and Good Friday and other things, if situation warrant you that you must respond to the person as because they used to wish you Happy Salah and other things, and they used to say that the same to you, I know that your mother, the Islam has kicked against that. If situation warrant you that you must respond to that wish, then just say thank you. Someone wish you Happy New Year, thank you. You must not say the same to you, because if you say the same to you, you also do that. You advocate that immorality. For that, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, this is the ruling. What is legislated upon us is for us to boycott, to disconnect ourselves from all these celebrations. Each and every one of us should try as much as possible to prevent our children, both male and the female, and anyone in our household from these celebrations, from this shameful celebration. For that, for the sake of Allah, let's try, by all means, let each and every father try by all means to prevent his children, because it does not befit you watching those children preparing themselves for this New Year celebration and other things, and you are there watching. Allah mentioned, "Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara." You have to protect yourself, safeguard yourself from the hellfire, and also your family too. Because some of the fathers who who are having sickness of hypocrisy and again disbelief in their heart, you see them also participating in this kind of celebration, buying some necessities within the home and other things, considering it as normal thing or as nothing is wrong with it. When someone asks that there is nothing wrong with, just say happy, there is nothing wrong with it. The statement is very light in the mouth, but it can lead to your destruction. But that Allah have, and again, you should know that you are mother, you are responsible for your household. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. And Allah have mentioned in the Quran, O you who believe, who أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا, protect yourself, safeguard yourself and your family too from the hellfire. Because this hellfire, the fuel of it is human being and stones. Human being and stones, on which there are angels that is attached that are responsible for those hellfire. غِلَاظٌ شِدَادٌ, they are severe and strong. لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُمْ, they never disobey Allah and they execute Allah's command. For that, let's be very, very careful. Because a father who is not preventing his family from participating in this new year or joining this has not protected himself and his family from hellfire. And the Prophet ﷺ have mentioned, مَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِقَوْمٍ فَهُوَ مِنْهُمْ, whoever imitates some groups of people, that person is part of them. You will be resurrected part of them. In another hadith of the hadith, you are not, the person is disowned, will be disowned on the day of resurrection. مَنْ تَشَبَّهَ بِغَيْرِنَا, whoever imitates someone outside the fold of Islam. He now made it crystal clear to us, if you don't understand that, لا تشبهوا باليهود, don't imitate the Jews, ولا بالنصارى, and don't imitate the Christians. I mentioned this because the Prophet ﷺ have made it crystal clear. I have to also make it crystal clear to you that the Prophet ﷺ have said that you will be disowned on the day of resurrection. Because imitating them shows weakness of iman in you, and it also shows declining of sense of reasoning in you, and again rejecting the bounty of Allah, the bounty of Islam that Allah bestows upon you. And because al-Islam ya'lu wa la yu'la alayh, always know that Islam is always superior. There is nothing above Islam again. And Allah mentioned in the Quran, whoever turn to them, that person is part of them. He now said, Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawma al-zalimin. Allah dislikes transgressors. Those who refuse to listen to the statement of Allah or refuse to act upon the statement of Allah, that person is a transgressor. And the person should continue waiting till he meets his Rabb. How many years will you spend in this world? أَعْمَارُ أُمَّتِ بَيْنَ السِّتِّينِ وَسَبْعِينَ. The lifespan of my ummah, by the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, is 60 and 70. How many years will you, even if you not die today, you will see that tomorrow. How many years will you spend in this world that you are not ready to listen or to obey Allah's commandment? Because of your arrogance, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, let's be humble to Allah's statement. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As mentioned, whoever builds house, mother, in the town or in the cities of the infidels and celebrate their New Year's festivals and imitate them, then that person will continue celebrating till the person died. That person will be resurrected with them also. For that, lastly, we have to be warned. Let's try not to wish the infidels Happy New Year. It is totally prohibited by the consensus of the scholars. The consensus of the past and the present scholars. Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned that matter, wishing the infidels of their specific festivals is totally prohibited by the consensus of the scholars, for that even if you saying in your statement that Happy New Year and this does not count you out of or take you out of the fold of Islam, you should be rest assured that this is totally prohibited by the virtue of the ahadith and some of the Quran which I quoted. And again, it is in the position of congratulating someone who is worshipping idols. It's in the position of congratulating, appreciating someone disobeying Allah, that it is better for you to say to mother, to say, well done, to someone who is drinking alcohol, committing adultery, killing souls, than for you to wish that, because that one is shirk and this one is disobedience of Allah. All of them, whoever mother drinking alcohol is one of the destructive sins. Also, zina, adultery is one of the destructive sins, which if the person die with mother oneness of Allah in his heart, he can be saved from hellfire. But as for shirk, ascribing partners to Allah, mother, Allah, that one will never be forgiven, provided the person did not repent before giving up from this world. For that, we appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for mother counting us among the Muslims. And again, we seek refuge in Allah from the path of those who earn the anger of Allah and those who are astray. May Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us as we listen to it like that's how it is. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ. Whoever wish should accept it like that. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Whoever wish should disobey. This is just the message of Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And again, there is nothing we are saying from here by our low desire or soft inclination. Rather, from the revelation of the Quran that Allah revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah guide us and show us guidance. And may Allah grant us good endings. اللهم ارزقنا قبل الموت توبة، وارزقنا عند الموت شهادة، وارزقنا بعد الموت جنة. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها، فنعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى يا رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قوموا إلى صلاتكم.